Hello, my name is Douglas English, and this is a presentation regarding cyberbullying prevention in the state of Arizona regarding the public school districts. I want to give special thanks and credit to my Capstone 2 classmates that helped me through this project throughout Capstone 2, and it's because of them that this Capstone 3 project is what it is today. And those students are Corey Andrews, Robin Cooper, Trent Hurst, and Brock Richardson. To understand active prevention of cyberbullying, you have to understand cyberbullying itself. Cyberbullying is when someone sends an harassing, threatening, and/or discriminating form of communication that is intended to harm the individual that is receiving those messages. Specifically, by definition, cyberbullying is to voluntarily, under your own control, inflict harm to an individual through the use of some form of technology. Cyberbullying started with the computer boom in the early 2000s. More importantly, it started when the internet was created. That gave life to cyberbullying because it gave them a form, a system, to allow them to conduct this negative act. Bullying has been a part of history for many generations. That first started with physical bullying, as that was a violent action with the intent to cause harm, punching, fighting. However, when the introduction of the internet and social media, cyberbullying was created and allowed bullying in itself to expand. The study discovered that 55.2%, over half, of all LGBTQ students experience some form of cyberbullying. Another study, out of everyone that is cyberbullied, 16% of those people, those victims, attempt suicide. And unfortunately, 4% are successful in their suicide attempts. There are many delivery systems regarding cyberbullying. And those include cell phones, computers, laptops, or any technological device that transmit information from point A to point B wirelessly. Now, within these devices, there are ways that someone can cyberbully through. And those are emails, texts, and chat rooms, social media, that includes Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and other electronic platforms such as live video feeds as YouTube, Twitch TV. Now, within the whole general scheme of cyberbullying, there are forms of cyberbullying itself. Now, the first form of cyberbullying is called flaming. Now, flaming is when someone uses electronic messages to portray angry and vulgar voice to somebody else to incite a fight. The second form of cyberbullying is harassment. And harassment is the repetition of sending nasty and insulting messages to a person with the goal of inflicting harm to that individual. The third form of cyberbullying is called denigration. Denigration is starting a rumor or a gossip trail to inflict damage upon someone else's reputation. The fourth form of cyberbullying is called impersonation. And this is when someone impersonates another person with the goal of destroying that person they're impersonating image when they don't deserve to have that image destroyed. The fifth one is outing. And this is when someone shares someone else's personal secrets to the outside world to inflict harm on that person. The sixth one is trickery. Now, while this is almost identical to outing, trickery is when someone coerces somebody into giving them their own secrets. And in turn, that person that coerced that person broadcasts that person's secrets on the internet to inflict harm to that individual. seventh one is exclusion. Exclusion is the form of a group of people excluding a certain individual for a reason that certain individual cannot help. That includes race or sexual orientation. And the last one is cyberstalking. And this is when someone sends repetitive messages to somebody else that they do not know to incite fear into that person. Who does cyberbullying affect? Cyberbullying affects everyone. Cyberbullying is an action that intends to cause harm. And whether or not you're young, old, what race you are, ethnicity, sexual orientation, if you are projected this harm through technology, it can affect you. Now, more importantly, out of everyone that it has affected, we're specifically focusing on at-risk adolescents within the public school systems of Arizona, as they are the most vulnerable people to cyberbullying. Now, who are at-risk adolescents? At-risk adolescents are people that are usually between kindergarten and high school, mainly within high school. Now, these adolescents have characteristics that others do not, and these characteristics allow them to be more susceptible to being cyberbullied. These characteristics include seeking acceptance, which is wanting to be included. Includes non-attentive, which is not being aware of their surroundings, so they can't pull themselves out of negative situations. Non-resilient, because of their desire to be included into groups, they will put themselves in negative situations, and in turn have a high probability of being cyberbullied in those negative situations, just so they can feel that they are included. Another characteristic is being self-reliable. These individuals do not have any parents at home, or they believe that they could live life the way they want to live it, because they think they know everything that there is to know. Because of this, they're more susceptible to putting themselves in negative situations, which will allow them to become cyberbullied. And the second to last one, is they will not report to cyberbullying because of their own actions that put themselves in that cyberbullying, because they might feel guilty. Basically, the sense of false self-guilt. The last one is not thinking clearly. Simply because their brain isn't fully developed, they do not have the decision-making skills as older adults. So they're not thinking clearly, and they put themselves, unfortunately, in situations they cannot get out of. And these situations could lead up to them becoming cyberbullied. Cyberbullying most commonly starts with gossip. It stems from high school relationship problems, mainly from discord after a relationship has ended. In addition to situational causes of unfortunate events, common characteristics that are correlated with someone becoming cyberbullied are they're in high school or they're at risk. Cyberbullies are more likely to be victims of bullies themselves, and they want to enact this pain on other people. In regards to cyberbullies themselves, boys are more likely to be cyberbullies. But when it comes to victims, no one is specifically targeted, as everyone can be cyberbullied. As mentioned before, cyberbullying is most common in high school, and the reason why people become cyberbullies is because either they're abused, they have no parents, they have mental health issues, and obviously they could be bullied themselves. And what they want to do, their goal in bullying others, is to get rid of the pain they are feeling from being bullied themselves. When when people are bullied, they attempt suicide. And these are the 4 individuals that I found committed suicide because they're cyberbullying. It's Grace McComas, Amanda Todd, Jaden Bell, and Conrad Roy. These are all victims of cyberbullying through one form of technology. And in the result of their deaths, 2 laws were created. The first law was Conrad's law. And what Conrad's law is it makes it a crime for someone to coerce or entice someone to commit suicide, to convince them. The second law that was created was Grace's law. And Grace's law is for the prevention of cyberbullying through technology. And now it is a crime for someone to send harassing or harm-intended messages through technology from one person to another. Where does this end? Where does cyberbullying stop? Where can policy make a difference that will prevent the spread of cyberbullying? That is the school. Schools are one of the most important combatants of cyberbullying because schools are best situated to help students develop into responsible citizens and responsible human beings. Schools must teach students to respect one another. And in turn, the public, society, teachers, and administrators must utilize schools to fight against this crime of cyberbullying. How does cyberbullying end? Well, the only way it ends is for schools to put it on the top of their priority list. 17 cyberbullying prevention intervention studies from around the world found that the most effective mitigation methods included school officials putting cyberbullying prevention number 1 on their priority list, and then openly and straightforwardly teaching students about methods of preventing and avoiding cyberbullying. If cyberbullying leads to suicide, if cyberbullying causes innocent young children to take their own lives, the public must pressure schools. Even the schools themselves must pressure themselves into making this a top priority. They have to allow a pipeline of communication for our students and our administrators and our teachers to talk about its harmful effects. Now, what policy does Arizona have to protect these children from becoming cyberbullied? Well, they have some policy. It's not that effective. The only method that is found that Arizona school systems have to prevent cyberbullying is reporting. The state of Arizona already requires school districts to organize procedures for reporting incidents of bullying, notify victims' guardians, and provide quote-unquote disciplinary consequences. While many laws throughout the country require schools to provide for discipline after cyberbullying acts, Arizona neither requires nor encourages school districts to implement bullying prevention programs within their own state. It's only a possible disciplinary track. Arizona must develop their own policy. Otherwise, this road that they go down is going to be a very slippery and unfortunate road for many students. Arizona school districts, they have no plan. It is not required in Arizona to train teachers on how to prevent bullying incidents. Unfortunately, Arizona does not require teachers to actively prevent or respond to bullying in general. When bullying takes place in a classroom or anywhere a teacher is present, Teachers should have basic knowledge on what to do to stop bullying from occurring. According to Arizona educational system, they are the worst when it comes to counselors. Now, it is found that the ACA requests 250 counselors, one counselor per 250 students. Arizona roughly has one counselor per 900 students, which makes them the worst ratio in the nation. Now, what can be done? What we propose and to prevent cyberbullying is helping those who are at risk of becoming bullies themselves. Cyberbullies themselves are likely to be victims of bullying. As said before, given the factors which predict cyberbullying, we propose that the inclusion of one extra counselor at every school. According to a document released by the NCES, which is the National Center for Education Statistics, the ACA has recommended a ratio of 250 students per counselor. As said before, the ratio for Arizona is roughly 900 students to one counselor. You just cut that in half, you're already making progress. Now, does counseling really help? Is counseling effective? It is. One extra counselor at every elementary school could oversee two things. Firstly, a counselor would watch out for those who are bullied, putting them in counseling sessions. These sessions could help victims deal with bullying in positive ways. This could mitigate the risk that victims become cyberbullies themselves. The school counselor would also be trained to observe classrooms and watch for nonverbal, psychological indications of students who may have poor relationships with caregivers at home. Counseling sessions could be provided for those individuals to help develop self-esteem. A certain study reported that the presence of a counselor, school psychologist in a bullying situation with the right training has demonstrated impressive results at preventing children from becoming bullies before the bullying behavior even begins. The biggest issue is cost. That has been a problem throughout Arizona, as Arizona is known for their budgets being lower compared to other states. Now, according to the Auditor General, counseling could be highly cost effective. The budget in 2018 was $7,482,000. Now, with regards to counseling, we propose you add one counselor per school, as an average of 16 students are in each school, for a total of 1.1 million students in 1,700 public schools. The cost of a counselor is, on average, salary-wise, $42,000 a year, which is equal to $71,400,000. And a $7.3 billion budget with projected growth for increased spending, adding one counselor per school is a very cost-effective way to save lives. Prevention programs are more effective as those individuals are in kindergarten through 7th grade, which is the target audience of these programs. You want to stop bullying before it can even develop. And as students get older, they're going to become more or less effective. because they have more of a common knowledge history and life experience. It's harder to get impactful messages because their developmental period has slowly started to end. Another situation, another prevention that could be possible is meeting with parents. They found that the most common predictor behind children who become bullies themselves is poor relationship at home. School officials might plan one seminar per school year, inviting parents to attend. While parental attendance at school meetings is difficult, many practices ensure increase. The study showed that gift card rewards based on attendance have proved useful, and that each parent in attendance has to submit his or her child's name for a drawing. And as it's being drawn, these parents meet with their administrators and discuss issues that the administrators see. And in turn, this could prevent bullying from happening. In this meeting, school officials could review how to watch for signs that your child may be bullied, how to intervene, how to help your child become resilient. And this could in turn help the home life as well, which will ultimately decrease the chance of a child becoming a bully themselves or being victimized by it. In conclusion, bullying is a terrible thing. It is a negative event that occurs in people's lives, and that it could cost them their lives. The problem with cyberbullying is not addressed specifically for students at the middle school level to the college age level. Consequences such as depression, increased anxiety, and ultimately suicide can occur. If left untreated, these symptoms become worse. The risk of suicide attempts could increase. And if the Arizona school system does not do anything to correct what they lack of, then bullying and cyberbullying, with the increased technological advances that we have today, will continue to increase. I thank you very much for your interest in this presentation. Hope you all have a great day.